Hi, how are y'all today? Thank you for coming out in this cold weather, and I know this is being live streamed. Let me tell you a little bit about what's happening inside. We did do a walkout. My name is Beth Bernstein. I represent a House District 78, which is right here in Richland County. We walked out of the debate because why debate and debate and debate when we know what's going to be the end result? That there's going to be a continuation of an assault on women's rights here at the State House. A lot of members are going to start to walk out and recount, but just what we just heard, that testimony, is what we continue to hear. And we don't know why, as legislators, we're not listening to the people in this state. It is time that we stop legislating these type of issues. This is a decision between a woman and her doctor and her family. We need to stop the ban. I love these signs. I have Representative Justin Bamberg, who is an outstanding advocate for these issues. He filed 60-plus amendments on this bill.
Woo!
And I have Representative, Michael Rivers. I forgot who was behind me. I have Representative Michael Rivers. I want them both to talk from their perspective because they've got excellent perspectives at the press conference. We have members who are making very, very passionate pleas. I hope you take the time to or have an opportunity to look at that. And members will be coming out and talking to you because we really do appreciate you coming out here today because that helps us. The work and the advocacy that you do, I say this all the time, make us better legislators. So thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting us in this issue.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
First, for those of you who may not know, my name is Justin Bamberg. I represent House District 90 down in Bamberg, Barnwell, and Colleton County. And I want to thank you, echo Representative Bernstein's sentiments. Thank you for being out here today. There's a million places you could have been. Thank you for making your voices heard. And I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't in there, so can I be myself?
Yeah. Say your piece.
Are y'all fine if I'm completely myself? I'm frustrated. Okay? I've been up here 7 years. And I came up here as a young man at the age of 26. I'm 33 now and I got a lot more gray hair. And every single year, we have the same battle. It's a pretty common sense battle as to who should win, because who would ever fight against a woman's right to privacy over her own body? I'm frustrated. Can't tell you the number of calls and messages you get. You are anti-life. Come on. I'm pro-life. I'm pro-life. I'm just more pro mind your own damn business. Woo! And let these women make decisions for themselves in their own household and with the advice of their doctor. It's pretty simple. For 7 years we've had this fight. And I'll tell you out here and anybody watching something I gotta say as an elected official who has to come in here with Mike and Beth and Todd and fight Gilda and fight. Elections have consequences. The reason we're in this position, in part, this year, with S1 being the first bill filed in the entire state, streamlining through the Senate with very few speed bumps. It's harder to walk up these steps than it was to get out of the Senate. Stream through the House, come to the floor, and it's going to pass this body today, and it's going to go to Governor McMaster, and he's going to sign it. And before the ink is dry, there's going to be a lawsuit. Part of the reason that's happening is because in the Senate, the Democrats lost 3 seats. Because we didn't get enough people out to vote. We didn't get enough people out to vote. I'm frustrated. I live in Bamberg County. My entire life, we had to fight for equal access to education. And we're still having that fight all across this state. In Democratic districts and Republican districts, we have kids who are having to do home schoolwork but don't have internet. Why are we in here trying to dictate what women can do with their own bodies? So what? So in 9 months or 10 months from now, I say 10 months, 9 months, depending how good a Valentine's Day some people had, there's going to be a baby forced to be born. And then when that kid starts school in parts of rural South Carolina, that kid's not even going to be able to do their virtual learning because there's no broadband internet. And we could be in here dealing with that. Time and time again, we have fought to expand Medicaid in this state. We fought to give people access to health care. Fought to give people access to health care, and year after year after year, one side of the chamber kills it. But they're pro-life. I'm frustrated. But seeing y'all gives me and a lot of other people hope. It gives me and a lot of other people hope. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you. Every tweet, every person you talk to, every opportunity you take to spread the word that in this building, as it stands right now, with 2/3 of the General Assembly being in one party, in this building, politics is greater than people. But it's you, all of you and anybody watching who is going to help us turn the tides and take the General Assembly back at the ballot box. And we're going to give the General Assembly back to the people of South Carolina. So thank y'all so very much. More of my colleagues have shown up, and I'm sure that some of them have some words for you. But just know we appreciate you. You give us life.
Kayla.
You give us life, and thank you so very much. God bless you.
Stop the ban. Stop the ban. It is great to see you and the energy that you are giving to us. But let me tell you something. What you all are doing right now is the beginning of something that's going to change South Carolina. The ones who are making the decisions right now that have no respect, more disrespect for you, when you vote, you make things happen. I'm looking out there and the generation that, oh boy, the generation that didn't know that Pharaoh are you. And you're going to change the world. So thank you, but don't be afraid to stand up for the truth. No one, I'm married. And if my wife and I have a conversation and I catch a feeling, and she don't have that feeling, I'm in trouble. Every decision, when it comes to a woman's body, it's her decision. And the thing that is so embarrassing and so sad is that everybody has a mother. So when people are trying to talk and talk negative about women, they're really talking about their moms. So keep the fight, keep us on task, And it's always right to do right, and what you are doing is right. Don't let nobody tell you any difference.
Woo! Yeah, Representative Dillard. Woo!
I have one fan. Good morning. Hi, everybody. I'm Chandra Dillard, State Representative from Greenville. And let me just say how appreciative I am for you being here. And not only today, I have heard you this week driving around the Capitol, honking your horn, saying we're here, and we're here for you and with you. And so often we have these discussions and battles and where we feel like we're alone sometimes. And so I just want to thank you for being here today, being here this week, but you're always here. And so we appreciate that. When my colleague talked about everyone has a mother, I am fortunate to still have my mother. And she is 74 years old. And the last thing we talked about on Tuesday, I said, Mother, this is going to be a rough week. She said, what's happening? I said, we're going to talk about that fetal heartbeat bill. And the only thing she said to me was, men ought to leave women alone. Men ought to leave women alone. And so that was words of wisdom from 74 to 17. We need to leave women alone. Men need to leave women alone. And so as we leave here, I hope that you know we have tried to be transparent today in our press conference to tell you the truth about this bill. It's a farce. It's not going anywhere, but it will cost our state millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. Dollars that can be used on health care, food, vaccines, the whole vaccination infrastructure, where we have people dying. So go out and help us through social media, to tweet, to Instagram, whatever your thing is, Facebook. Help us get this message out. And together, when we show back up at the ballot box, let's make some changes in this body.
I'm Chris Hart from Richland County.
Yes, sir.
And what I'm holding is an amendment that they struck down. And the reason why they struck the amendment down, because it's the truth.
That's right.
And the amendment states that the Republican Party for the past 48 years have tried to overturn Roe v. Wade unsuccessfully. But what they've been very successful at is squandering millions of our tax dollars over the past 48 years. I'm in full support of you. I do not believe that we have the right to tell any woman what to do with her body. I also had an amendment that says that if you feel so strongly about this issue, you should take our tax dollars and our salary as General Assembly members and pay for the legal fees. That also was struck down because it's the truth. Thank you, I'm support, and I love you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
I'm Representative Joe Jefferson. I represent Berkeley and Dorchester counties. Happy to be with you at this hour. I believe in pro-choice. I believe in women's right. You know, whatever decision is made between women, her God, and her physician, that should be the ultimate choice, but certainly not a political choice. Now, I'm from a family of 5. I've got 4 sisters, and I'm the only hardhead in the group. My mother told us a story years ago. She had 3 children, 3 girls. Then I came along, but my father wanted to have another boy. So they tried again, and they had another girl. But this time, she was left on the table for dead because the doctor warned her, all right now, your heart is getting weaker as you get older. But she insisted on having another child. Well, fortunately for her, she was revived. So she lived many more years. But that was her choice. And that's all that we're saying to you. Allow you, each and every one of you ladies, to choose, because you have that option. And as Americans, we have that right to choose. But you know what? We should have had Medicaid expansion today. But we don't have it because of you know who up in the upstairs. The only reason we have Obamacare is because it was a federal mandate. And as a result, over 300,000 South Carolinians now have health care who didn't have it before. So we're going to continue looking out for women because we know without y'all, there would be no us. Thank you very much.
Ladies. Listen, there ain't nothing that we don't control in this world. And the last thing we're going to do is allow men to control our bodies.
Say that.
I just want to speak for all of us when I say we don't care that they're mad we're out here. I'm glad to be out here. For all the women that want to give their sob stories about how they had to face abortion and get up and tell us how they still kept their babies, the point is, you just made our point, is that it was your choice. You didn't need the government to come and tell you to keep your baby. You made that decision all on your own. Ladies, if we don't do anything else this year, we need to stand up for our rights. There are 100,000 more women in this state than there are men. For y'all that don't know that, we run this state. It is time for us to speak up. It is time for us to let our voices be heard. We don't have enough women up here. There's 124 members, and we don't have enough women. And then we have to deal with this bill every year. Women, primary the leaders on this bill, and let's take off with a new mission.
Thank you. You can look at me and tell that I'm the senior person up here. Just look at my head, and it'll tell you that I'm the senior person up here. 74 years, 21 years in the House, and I've been facing this for 21 years. I'm so happy today that I have the opportunity just to come before you to say I support women's rights. I came from a woman. I've married a woman. 51 years we were together. I care about women. And I asked God, why am I here? He said, I want you to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with me, my God. That's what I want to do here. I want to show the younger folk that I support them in this effort. Because when I, 21 years ago, had soldiers who led the way for me to be here today. And I want to say to you, don't stop what you're doing. And this thing that I heard over and over today is one close to my heart. How do we make change? We can't make change just going to the mic and speaking. We got to work. And our work is before us to get more people to the ballot box so we can change South Carolina. We must do this. We must change it. They're not going to change it for us. We got to change it ourselves. And we can only change it at the ballot box. I say to you, get busy. Get busy. Because in 2022, we got to show up.
I'm Representative J.A. Moore, but give it up one more time for Lonnie Hosey. I watched a movie over the weekend, and there was a saying in the movie where it says, where there's people, there's power. I don't know if y'all heard me. I said, where there's people, there's power. I want to make a little bit of adjustment if y'all okay with it. Where there's women, there's power. I said, where there's women, there is power. Say it with me, where there's women, there's power. Where there's women, there's power. So I'm here to support the powerful women all over this state. And I'll tell you right now that this bill is going nowhere. The governor's going to sign it, but it's unconstitutional. So women, y'all still have the power. And so in 2022, where there's women, there's power, and we need to change the power structure in this state house. I said where there's women, there's power. Where there's women, there's power. Where there's women, there is power. Thank y'all so much.
Woo!
Hello. I'm Representative Rosalind Henderson Myers from Spartanburg. And I want you all to know I am overjoyed to see you here, to support the fact that we as women have the right to choose what goes on with our bodies. Now, our colleagues in the chamber are always arguing constitutional rights, right not to wear a mask, but then when it comes to that same thing of saying women need to have that right or should have that right, oh no, can't do that. That's nothing but hypocrisy. But I'd say to you, do you all remember years ago when abortions were not legal in this state and women were taking things in their own hands and they were putting coat hangers and stuff and things like that, doing everything they could to abort a baby that they knew that they couldn't afford to take care of? Do you all remember those days? Well, I'm here today to tell you we ain't going back. I know that's not the right vernacular, but we ain't going back. This thing will not prevail. It's going to rise to constitutional challenge. We've got a law in this state, Roe v. Wade. You all have heard about that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not going to be successful. And I want you to know, from this point forward, I want you to tell everybody, we ain't going back. Say it again, we ain't going back. One more time, we ain't going back. All right, and with that, keep the faith, keep in the fight, we will prevail. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Representative Dion Tedder from Charleston, Dorchester counties. One thing that confuses me is, as a newly elected member of this General Assembly, while I was talking to my constituents and campaigning, people sent me and sent my colleagues up here to fight for affordable housing, to fight for education for our students, to fight for health care for our constituents. Yet our priority from our colleagues is to talk about abortion. Not one time did I meet a constituent that told me to come up here and tell a woman what to do with her body. And let's call it what it is. The people on the other side, they want women to be property. That's exactly what this is. Women used to be property, they're trying to roll it back. Call it what it is. It's not pro-life, it's pro-birth. If it was pro-life, we'd be up here talking about the homeless people. Instead of spending millions of dollars to challenge this unconstitutional bill, money that's being wasted, taxpayer dollars, but they complain when we ask for a budget to put grocery stores in our district, to feed our constituents, to get people off the streets, to put our teachers back in the classroom safely. We have people calling us every day, elderly people, wanting to know when they can get their vaccine. Our state has failed in the vaccine rollout. Our governor has failed in that. And instead of us trying to fix it, we are telling women what to do with their bodies. People are dying right now as we speak in the hospital because we are not taking this pandemic seriously.
We don't take anything seriously. But what we have to do is change that by getting to the ballot box. You all need to run for office. You need to challenge these people and what they're saying. And we're not out, we didn't walk out as a cop-out. We're doing what our constituents want us to do. We are prioritizing the things that we know need to be done in this state, but our colleagues still want to make you their property. And we have to stop that, and we will continue to fight for you because we are in the fight for women. And as my colleague said, where there's women, there's power. Thank you.
Go ahead.
It's cold out here, y'all.
Sure is.
But I want to say that y'all look good out here. Y'all look good. And we really appreciate you all showing your support for what we're all fighting for, because this doesn't just affect one person. This affects the 2.7 million women we have across this state here in South Carolina. Now, a few short weeks ago, I got this great idea that I would sponsor some legislation that says, you know what, I'm going to decide to trust women to make the best decisions for their bodies. And this legislation is 3758. And if you all want to take a look at it, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So 3758 is the Joint Committee on Women's Reproductive Rights. And this committee that will be established will be 3 women coming from the Senate, 3 women coming from the House, and 1 woman that will be appointed by the governor. Now, I happen to think and believe that Democrat women and Republican women can find a common compromise for what would affect women across the state. I happen to believe that I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm a married man. I've been married for 9 years, and I'm not gonna go against what my wife believes is best for her body. If my wife tells me to go to the store and get the Tampax, I'm going to go to the store and get the Tampax. I'm not going to go to the store and say, you know what, I think this is better for my wife's body. I'm going to get the pad, and I'm going to bring the pad back and say, baby, well, I thought this was better for you. I happen to believe that my wife is smart enough to make the best decision for her body. And I believe that for all of you. I believe you all are smart enough and capable enough to make the best decisions for your body and for everybody else. Because we all know that you all don't just bring forth life, you nurture life. You assist all of us in becoming who we are. You are the individuals who are the strong people. You keep us together.